Hi, I'm Andrew. Welcome back to the Moving to the UK podcast, your guide to relocating to the UK with confidence. I cover the north of the UK. In this podcast, we focus on the property side of your move, from finding the right place to rent or buy to choosing the area that suits you best.
Hi, I'm Mark. I cover the south of the UK. We also bring in trusted guest experts to cover everything else you need to know, from visas and cost of living to schools and day-to-day life in the UK. Packed with practical advice, real stories and honest insights to help you make informed decisions. Don't forget to join our Facebook group Relocation to the UK to ask questions, share experiences and connect with others on the same journey. Let's get started.
Tom and Britney have kindly joined us. They are TwoBrits. Tom and Britney are going to fill us in on that name, but they can be found on Facebook and Instagram. And it's just sharing their journey on what to look out for, the excitement, the surprises, the hurdles, everything that comes with moving. So they've moved back to Bradford with their 4 children and 2 dogs. So I'll take my hats off to you straight away, because that's a very brave move. So yeah, where did the TwoBrits tag come from?
Yeah, so I'm Tom and this is Britney. And
Yep.
So when we were talking about documenting our journey on social, we said, oh, what should we call it? And I were coming up with loads of names, not very good ones. And then Britney said, how about TwoBrits?
And it was so funny. He was like, "That's amazing." I was like, "Oh, okay."
And I spent over a decade in corporate marketing. I went, I think you've missed your calling in marketing. It's such a good name.
Yeah, because most people call me Brit. So yeah.
So Tom and Britney, but Tom and Brit. So TwoBrits.
Makes sense. And the wife is always right, I've learned. That is one global rule of...
And yeah, I'm more and more convinced that my wife is an absolute genius. So. Yeah.
They'll let you feel like you're the boss, but really they're pulling the strings behind the
Yeah,
scenes.
it's taken me a long time to figure it out. We've been married for almost 17 years, so it's taken me a long time to figure it out, but getting there.
Wow.
Getting
Yeah.
closer.
True. So, and how did the move come about? So obviously I know you moved around. Were you initially in York and you met in York and then moved back to the US and moved a little bit around with work? Do you want to just fill us in a bit on that?
Yeah. We've moved quite a bit, actually. So I'm from California. We met in York, England.
Mhm.
And when we got married, or before we got married, Tom was all about moving to America.
Oh, I met this Californian. I thought, Bradford.
Yeah.
We met when we were 17. We met at 17,
Yeah.
engaged at 18, married at 19. Brit was 20. But I was like, well, obviously I'm moving to California. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
We were first moving.
Yeah.
First
So we
landed.
spent several years there.
Mhm.
Then we were in Chicago, Illinois for a couple of years.
Yep.
Tom did seminary there for a couple of years. Then we moved back to California for a short period of time.
And
then,
we were in 2 or 3 places within California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have spent the last 7 years, right?
Mhm.
In Idaho.
Yeah, North Idaho.
yeah.
So just below the Canadian border. So obviously a lot of people, not always, more you talk to them, but a lot of people, especially in the UK, think America is either Florida or California. That's pretty common for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's obviously, and it's funny because I didn't even know where Idaho was. We went with some friends and moved there, and I was like, Idaho, where's that? I didn't realize where it was. It's an incredible place, very alpine.
Beautiful.
Oh, it's just beautiful. It's like a massive lake district, really, the way to think about it. But really beautiful, but fairly extreme seasons too. So you get proper winter. So you talk about having 3 feet of snow in the winter, and once it's white, it's white for 4 years. For 4 4 months.
It feels
like 4 years.
Sometimes it does.
like a Calgary almost.
Yeah. But then in the summer you have incredible summers. Blue skies. 25 plus degrees. You're by the water.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
Yeah.
And then really beautiful in the autumn and the spring.
Yeah.
So a really incredible place to be.
Yeah.
We bought our house there.
Mhm.
Been raising our kids there.
We're there at our house. We bought it 4 years ago.
Mhm. We homeschool the kids. Well, not we. Brittany homeschools the kids.
You help as well.
I help a little bit, but not like you do. So yeah, we built a life that we love there, for sure.
And so, but as far as how we decided to move here, I guess you can explain.
Yeah, back here, I think as I approached my mid-30s, and more people I talk to have been through and are feeling the same kind of thing. I was getting restless in feeling like I was getting older and getting more established in my career, and I'd done quite well in what I was doing. So I was kind of reaching more of the apex of where I was in my particular role, and feeling like I felt a bit like, well, this isn't it. This isn't enough, and feeling like time was getting on and the kids were getting older, and I was really at the same time beginning to miss my roots and where I was from and my parents and being around what I'd grown up doing. And so there was all these things happening at the same time. The American work culture, in my experience, was very, how do I say it? It's non-stop.
I think in that industry too, especially.
Yeah, I was in finance.
Yeah.
And I've been in a couple of others. I think across a lot of different industries. The industries that I'd been in, particularly in my role and in senior leadership within marketing, it was that, yeah, you do your job and it's 40 plus hours, but then you also have to be always on. So then your phone's on. So you get home and you're still on. Weekends you're still on. You go on holiday, but you're still on. And it was that feeling of I've never switched off. I'm never actually able to take a step back and feel like, whew, I can relax. And because stuff still would come through, and I'm quite performance driven, and so I feel like I have to always be on.
Yeah, I was gonna say for you, for someone like you too, it wasn't just like I will get to it. It was like, no, if it's there, if I'm being asked to do it, I have to do it. But I want to, spend time as a family. And so that was just really hard. That was a battle for sure.
Exactly right. And so it was this kind of culmination of, missing my family, missing where I'm from, missing my culture, feeling like I'd done a lot of things, but it didn't meet or fill a void that was somehow there. All these different things happening at the same time, feeling very burnt out on work. So all these things happening, and so then we started to have conversations about what would it look like to take a step back, slow down, go back to where I'm from. Kind of, a change is as good as a rest. I've always heard that phrase, and so I felt like maybe that's true. Maybe we do need a change, and it will bring some rest.
Yeah.
So it was obviously a huge conversation to have. It would mean leaving what we've built, where we're from. It would mean leaving Britney's family. So it wasn't like oh yeah, let's do that, and then a weekend you pack up and you leave. This is the beginning of many conversations, working through what that would look like. The good, the bad, the ugly, the sad, everything. And honestly, like from starting to talk about it to landing at Heathrow, it had to be 2 years or knocking on that door, because it was about a year of conversation. At first, just like tiny little conversations.
It was just little things. It wasn't that long of talking about like really officially moving here. Right. I think we kind of just dabbled in like, well, what if we go there for a period of time, like, even 6 months, and then we just realized that's very expensive and not practical, because by 6 months, that's when you're just getting settled into a place anyway.
Yeah.
But
and it didn't allow you to have that true experience of actually what it looks like to move and live and get involved and get established and go through, the real, just everything of what it looks like to live in a place for a period of time. So then we started having more and more conversations from actually deciding, yes, we're going to do it.
Yeah, what month was that?
September of last year. We said, let's do it. And then we landed in the second week of July. So
right.
Knocking on that year.
So yeah, 8 months roughly. So it's quite I suppose it's the mindset before you kind of pros and cons and then go, right, let's do it. But even at that 8 months of So, and I suppose you had the beauty of moving, because I know you were saying you'd moved back in with parents, so you've got at least that soft landing when you come here.
Yeah. And we kind of transitioned and then transitioned again. So we at first we're trying to sell our home in the US, but it's a different market and an interesting market. And when we were selling last year, there were a lot more houses than there were people buying, especially the kind of house we were selling, where we were much more rural. So we were living in North Idaho on 1.5 acres, so it's a septic system and it's well water and it's, propane instead of gas being put, no rubbish service. They don't come and pick up your rubbish. You take it to the local off. So much more of a rural lifestyle. So you have to have the right kind of buyer for that. And there was a lot, but you have to have the exact right buyer at the exact right time. So it was just a little more. It wasn't necessarily a quick sale, and so that didn't work out. We've ended up renting that out to fantastic tenants that we're hoping to keep for a long time. Who knows?
Yeah.
And then we transitioned from there. We lived with Britney's parents for a few months while we sort of got established, went through the visa process, the passport process, getting the dogs ready, getting everyone ready. And then because of that, we kind of extended that to have really good quality time with Britney's parents. And then we've left there, and now we've landed at my parents, and we're going to have some time here to kind of phase in. So establish, getting everything set up from a life perspective here. So, you know, you name it, banking and driver's licenses and getting a car and getting reacquainted with the area and slowly looking and deciding what we want, and then moving from there into the next season.
Yeah, I think that's one shock I get with people we obviously help relocate from the US. And there's so much chicken and egg of like, well, I don't have a property, so I can't open a bank account. I don't have a bank account, so I can't pay for a property. And I think that's where we can knit the pieces together to go, oh, just speak to this gentleman at HSBC, and he'll set up your account as an expat account. And then it's kind of, it falls into place. It's easy that people get stressed with, there's so many spinning plates that it's like, where do you even start to spin the first plate and then go, right, 100%. Okay. So, especially with kids, because for kids, you've got that conversation to have with them of, hey, we're leaving this big house on the prairie, so to speak, to go back to Bradford to live with grandma and granddad. So, So,
it's definitely been interesting because, and we've talked to them a lot and want to make sure that we're not doing things without working through that with them, because we don't want to leave them feeling like you've just made all the decisions without even considering us, and now you've put their life upside down. So there's definitely been a lot of conversation there with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure, it's bittersweet for them leaving family and friends.
Yes. Yeah. It's definitely been hard. I think one thing I keep saying when people ask like how we're doing, like how our kids are doing, I think time has been a gift, because I think if everything came together in like a month or even a couple of months, that would have been really difficult. So I think, having all of these months to kind of process and go through it and ask them, just daily how they're doing and everything has been a gift. Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose it's the emotional roller coaster as well of like, I helped a family move. I think they were like North Carolina. And I met her after they'd moved in. They had 3 children. And like she'd taken it all in her stride. And then I took her to the supermarket to say, look, this is where you get shopping, and she couldn't find a coffee creamer. And she had a full breakdown over this coffee creamer, and I was like, oh my God. Final hurdle, and we just can't find coffee creamer. So like, so funny. Just go on Amazon and find you some.
That's so funny. Yeah, because just today, and we've been for so many visits, and when I come here, I usually whether it's going out for coffee, drinking a lot more tea, but I don't really typically drink a lot of coffee here because it's just not what I usually drink at home. And like the creamer situations, I definitely feel that. Today I asked ChatGPT, I said,
I need my creamer.
What grocery stores can I find creamer in? Because I really like my creamer, and it was, so that's funny.
It's a US thing that as well. So for me, I'm like, look, I don't really know what creamer is, but my go-to is Amazon. They'll pretty much sell anything.
It's not good for you. It's sugar, but it's good.
I just drink black coffee, so I'm all right.
Yeah, you don't even need milk or anything.
Yeah, true. Just get on the Tetley's tea.
Yeah, that's Yorkshire tea.
Now your mom is buying, we did a whole video
on my mum gets
Rington's tea, which to me it's very similar to
It's lovely. They come with a little basket. It's quintessentially British. They come with a basket, and there's tea and cookies.
Biscuits,
right. Sounds expensive, so I probably never tasted it.
More reasonable than people think, actually. When she showed me how much you want, it wasn't much different.
Yeah.
Right. Fair enough. So on the whole journey, I suppose you've obviously had a bit of an emotional roller coaster. What would you say is like the most stressful and the most kind of tips to look out for anyone considering moving?
Well, I can speak to some of the practical side of things.
Yeah, Tom did most of the practical stuff. He's really good at that.
What she means by that is really OCD, is what she's trying to say. Nice.
but it really works out in these kind of situations because
OCD is helpful when you're moving.
Yeah, like very organized, like lots of research, and I mean, he got himself a visa when he was 18 years old when he first moved.
Yeah.
Which we were just talking about last night. I was like, I can't believe you did that. Like, all by himself.
I think I've got this thing about if someone else can do it, that means I can do it.
Yeah.
But I'll try just about anything, which sometimes is good and sometimes isn't. Sometimes I get myself
Sometimes
into
it doesn't work out.
Yeah, I replaced our entire septic system at our house in Idaho because they wanted like 25 grand to do a septic system. So I said I'll just do it myself. And I borrowed my neighbor's tractor and I was digging 100-foot by 4-foot trenches and dropping in septic systems and became a full-blown septic plumber. And
you did it.
I did it,
it's
but
working.
I was at the bottom of a pit because I took on too much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, from a practical side, the stress is the timing for sure is difficult, especially when there's multiple pieces happening. So for us, it was getting 4 British passports for the kids because obviously of me they can have British passports. So they've now got both US and UK passport, as do I. I became a US citizen. So there was that timing of that, then the timing of making sure that we get Britney's spouse visa, the family visa, and then making sure that it was done the right way with obviously income requirements and saving requirements, but also having suitable housing to live in. And so jumping through all those hoops and doing that correctly. I always err on doing more than they ask for.
Yeah.
Because it does quite well that way. I did that with my visa going to the US too. So there was the timing of that and doing it all right and jumping through the hoops correctly and having everything set up. And then on top of that, it's the dogs. I would say probably the most stressful is the dogs because
the timing
of it is very particular.
As far as like getting certain things done, like certain.
Yeah, so you have to have obviously a vet that's USDA approved. So the United States Department of Agriculture. So a vet that's registered with the USDA. You have to go and have an exam with them. They sign off. They send off the paperwork. You have to work politely with the vet to basically tell them, please don't mess this up and get everything right. I'm saying that because then they don't want to work with you because they think this guy's a nut job.
Yeah.
So you have to tell them. And so I remember just going, oh, and how have you spelled that again? Oh, and which dogs have you got on there again? Oh, yeah, and what's the weight that you're using?
Yeah, because
so you're doing it very nicely, but basically saying, please don't mess that up. And this is my OCD kicking in. Mm-hmm. So you have to do that. You have to have that vet certificate no more than 10 days old.
Yeah.
When you get here. So you have to time that perfectly. But then you also have to have them have their tapeworm treatment no more than, I think they've moved it to 5 days now. It was 3 days. Yeah. I timed it at 3 days. But that leaves no room for error.
Yeah.
With a flight delay now, that's not going to be enough.
Yeah.
Then you have to make sure that they've got the rabies vaccination that's tied to their actual microchip. So there's definitely a lot of things that have to slot in just right. And if you don't get them right, then they're going to get quarantined for 6 months when they land. So that I would say from a timing and stress perspective was probably my there's no room for error on this.
Yeah.
I suppose one error and then it's like kicks everything back a week or a month or
right.
that. And by that time you probably booked your flights because you're 3 days before. You're like, well, everything's booked and moving.
Yeah.
And no.
So that's just from obviously practical side of things, but that doesn't take into consideration any kind of familial. I don't want to call it loss because it's not like we've lost them, but moving 6,000 miles away from family is never easy, and we're in a position where we've been doing that both ways. So we don't really ever win. Either we're nowhere near my parents, or we're nowhere near Brit's parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could speak to that a little.
Yeah, that's definitely, I mean, now I can also say, like, I didn't deal with any of this practical stuff over here. I know that was stressful. Yeah. But obviously, overall, the hardest part, I think we would all say, is just the emotional aspect of it. It's just, and I think other than, like, everything on paper looked great. We really enjoyed living in Idaho. Yeah. Had amazing friends there, and life was beautiful in so many ways. And which is also why, like, Tom, he was kind of going through this internally, just struggling with different things, missing home, like struggling a bit with just work, and it's because he didn't want to mess with any of that. He was like, things are really good, but I'm also really kind of struggling alone with these things. And so that was also really hard to know that he was going through that. And so, yeah, that's why, I mean, every single day since he really shared with me what he was going through, every day since then, we were like talking every day, having
nonstop
the same conversations every day. And then we would like have to take a break. We're like, this is too much. This is a lot.
Go outside for a walk.
Yeah. But it was, I mean, it's weird. It's like, it was the longest 8 months, I feel like, of our life. But then at the same time, it like did go by so fast too, because we had so many things to do.
Yeah, you spend so much of the time leading up to making a decision.
Yeah.
Going, you're very much on a seesaw. Do we go? Do we not go? Do it? So just getting to the decision is a really big step for people.
Yes.
Once you've hit that step and you go, okay, we're committed to saying yes. Let's work towards making that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that stuff could change or anything could happen, and there's a lot of things that then happen practically that are outside of your control.
Yeah.
But just getting to the yes, we're going to make a decision to do something. That was probably the most emotionally taxing of all of it.
I would say that was yes, and then also, and then just like the build up, the last several weeks or whatever, because you just it's coming.
Yeah.
Everyone's thinking about it. You just kind of want to rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah,
because it's just really hard.
Yeah.
And then the days following were really difficult too. But and
then you start to establish a new normal and a new cadence, and people start to settle in, and there's times obviously the kids will come and go, I really miss me, Ma and Poppy. That's Britney's parents. I really miss Poppy, or I miss our home, or I miss, and there's different things. But then there's also things that they go, oh, I'm really enjoying this thing, and so there's just I've said there's no grass is greener. There's grass is different.
Yeah, I would also say too that something for us that's just felt really important is just letting our children know that when they say like we're feeling this too, to also just let them know like we are too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think sometimes for kids to just be like, well, you don't seem sad because you have all these things that you're doing, and it's like, well, first of all, we're adults, so we can't just walk around like crying all the time or being sad all the time. We also have to we also have a lot that we have to do practically. Being strong for them, but also then just telling them like we're feeling those things too. We're going through those things too.
We've had those times where we've sat on a couch and had a little mini family meeting and allowed everyone to be really sad and process through, well, what are you feeling and why are you feeling it, and even saying, great, feel that way. You don't have to stop feeling that way. You don't have to. We're not trying to get over it and go, let's move on. I think we've learned it's not healthy just to sweep stuff under the rug and move on. No. To process it, because it will come out sideways at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, how old are your 4 children?
Right now it's easy because the birthdays haven't started changing things, so it's 6, 8, 10, 12.
Okay, so you've probably got the 6-year-old going different emotions to the 12-year-old who had a friend network in the US, and then it's different emotional battles, which whilst you're going through your own, you've still got that.
We have 2 boys, 2 girls. So then obviously the girls process things a little bit differently.
Yeah, and just at different times too. It's like with our youngest, it'll kind of come out in a way that maybe we weren't expecting, or just he'll randomly say something and we're like, oh wow, like, when we first told you this, it didn't seem like you quite
right, because it's hard for him to imagine what might be happening, or what might change. Whereas for a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old, they start to go, hold on, that means that this thing's going to change.
They understand.
We're not going to be doing this thing. We're not going to be seeing these people. We're not going to go here. And so there's a little more reality that drops quicker.
Yeah.
I suppose it's the whole routine thing as well. Like, I don't know about females, but for me, I just love a routine of, okay, we get up and we go gym, and I suppose for kids as well, that they have their set routine, and it's pretty much thrown up in the air of, well, what do we do today? And you're like, well, we're still trying to figure that out ourselves.
Basically everything's going to be different, because even if they might have certain routines that are the same, it's like you're going to be in a completely different place. It's going to look different. It's not going to look exactly how it has been. We had
things pretty routined, but this past 12 months has been pretty different. So we're looking forward to getting some solid routines.
And what's the plan with the schools? Are you continuing homeschooling or going through the
The plan will be to continue homeschooling, yeah.
Yeah, which I think will be good for them too, in the sense that that actually won't feel that much different because they're just going to be doing it in a different house, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm grateful that that's not going to be a complete shock to them.
Yeah.
And that will stay pretty routine for them.
We've seen our kids really thrive with homeschool.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a homeschooling podcast, so we're not going to go through that, but but for us, we chose to do that. Just the level of intimacy that you have with your kids, the one-on-one learning, the ability to have the freedom as a family to do different things.
Yeah.
So we're big proponents of homeschooling, and then we'll get them plugged in. The number one thing you get from everyone is, well, your kids are going to be antisocial and they're not going to make friends.
Yeah.
Our kids are probably some of the most sociable, well-adjusted. You know, I'm obviously biased because they're my kids, but we're very proud of who our kids are. So we'll plug them into different things. You know, in America they played football and did things there, and
they all have different things that they're like.
Yeah.
That they want to do. So
one's like, I want to do horseback riding. I just said horseback riding because that's American. Horse riding.
Oh.
One of them wants to do horse riding. One of them wants to play
dance.
football or cycling or dance. So
they actually have like too many things they want to do. I'm like, we
slow
can't.
Down.
We can't do it. But yeah.
I think you're braver than most. I think when COVID hits and it was homeschooling, every parent is like, how do we cope with our own kids like 7 days a week and we've got to teach them? So we're like, right, let's get them back into school now. So, fair play.
Obviously, we're not doing it because we have anything necessarily against schools. That's not. I mean, I went to school growing up. Sorry, Brittany.
Yeah.
We weren't homeschooled, but we've just made that decision as a family, and we're going to continue to do that.
Yeah.
Fair play. Yeah, it's what's right for the kids, and I mean, you can look at the education system now, and I'm like, well, why are they learning about African and kind of culture in the 1800s? They should be learning robotics and AI and all this stuff. But
yeah, exactly right.
But that's a conversation for another day, I suppose. I suppose cost of living is a big one, because I know the US compared to the UK, I know it varies from state to state in the US, but I know California, crazy. But I know London, Manchester, crazy. But I suppose, was there any surprises, or how's cost of living worked out so far?
You bang on to say it's not necessarily apples to apples, because each situation is different. If someone's moving from California and then they're going to go live in, I don't know, a much lower cost of living place in the UK, they're going to feel a massive difference. If someone's moving from the Midwest to London, they're going to feel like, I can't afford England, because it's a complete opposite. So you can't just go America to England.
New York, London, it's probably going to feel pretty similar.
New York to London might feel similar. So I can speak to our situation. We left California for multiple reasons, not only cost of living. So when we moved to Idaho, we left because it is a little freer for families to choose things like homeschooling and choose things like buying a house. And it's a bit more like the Wild West too for a DIYer like me, where you can just do what you want to your house. It's quite
You're only planning for that. I'll dig it out. No problem.
I'll put my own septic system.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen just anywhere.
No, in California, you'd never get away with that kind of thing. So we left to go to Idaho for multiple reasons. We love the idea of being there for seasons and for outdoors and all kinds of stuff. So that's where we can probably speak to the most, as far as that's what our most recent experience is. And I would say that that's also now changing, because a lot more people want to move there. So it has gotten more expensive.
Yes.
Now, that said, from there to Bradford is considerably less when it comes to the cost of living, from house prices to groceries.
Groceries is a big one.
To activities, to just generally shopping. I mean, I'm sure you could go through category by category with us, but the cost of living just overall is lower where we are in this area of Bradford versus really anywhere we've lived in the US, actually, I would say.
Yeah, maybe like not.
When we can
Midwest,
go through bit by bit.
I don't know.
I don't remember the Midwest as much anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can ask us bit by bit. Obviously, like food shopping is definitely cheaper.
Yes.
We've made a couple of videos about that, and everyone's got their own opinion, but objectively speaking, it's just less.
That's good to hear. I think one big thing I found as well is the work-life balance of, like, people move from the US, and I know you touched up on this yourself, Tom, with like, it's go, and then they're like, nobody puts in a meeting at Friday at 4:30, and we're like, yeah, that's because everyone's probably in the pub or going out with the kids to the park, and it's very much of, oh, people don't work weekends here, whereas in the US it's like you have a baby and you feel pressured to get back to work, or you're sick and you have to get back to work because they'll just give the job to someone else, where you seem a bit more protected here, which
that's definitely true. There's a little bit of background with that, obviously, around the political system. So we're not political in any way, but you've got a capitalist system in America versus in the UK. It's got a little more. It's not social. It's got more social fabric in it.
Yeah.
And that's where some of those protections come from that you don't really have in the US. The US has got massive opportunity. I mean, just untouched opportunity where if someone's a go-getter, they will do well and they can make an incredible life for themselves.
Yeah.
But that said, it means that they're going to have to maintain that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's very much a go get it, grab it, and then maintain it, which can burn you out fast. And yeah, you're right. It's a minimum 40-hour full time. Is a minimum 40-hour work week. There's an expectation that you'll do a little bit more. There's not as many paid holidays. There's not as much leniency to kind of have a bit of time off. But again, I feel like it swings and roundabouts. It's not better or worse. It's just it's different. And I think I loved that for a long time, and I was good with that, and I did well in that, and I pushed hard, and it it had its ups, and we were able to do a lot with it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think everyone's got a breaking point, and I met mine. And I burnt out, and I was ready for a change.
No, fair enough. Good. Well, not good to know you had a break. Well, not a breakdown, but just ready for a change. So.
Yeah. I think I managed to get out before I had an absolute breakdown.
Yeah, fair enough. I suppose you've only been here a month. Is there any surprises, or kind of, we didn't know about this, or have you been for it? Well, you know what a Sunday dinner is, or a carvery and scones and Yorkshire puddings.
We've not been out to the local tub yet, so no tubs yet. Actually, Mum's not made a full English yet either.
She hasn't yet.
She's lacking.
Yeah, and get on that. It's been too warm to do it. When I have things on. I don't know about surprises. I think interestingly, it's kind of getting used to things again.
Yeah.
Getting used to being able just to walk to everything, and getting used to things being close, and getting used to having access where we were to. Well, I would say that where we were was an extreme version of not having access to things. Like for us, if we wanted to go to a bigger grocery store, or go down to hardware stores and get things, it's about a 45-minute to hour drive from our house.
I would say
driving an hour here is not a thing, is it?
Yeah.
No.
Like you said, getting used to things. So I think things close earlier. So that's one thing. Another thing, it's like all these things I already knew from visiting so many times. Yeah. Another one is even like laundry, like the small washing machines. Yeah. Little things like that I'm like, okay, it does affect your daily life. It's not like a bad thing, but it's just like, okay, we hang out a lot of the washing, and then our loads are smaller, so I feel like I have so much laundry to do all the because ours.
That's my wife's bugbear. Washing every day, and then in the summer you can hang it out, but in the winter you're like, I'm going to dry all this now.
Yeah. So just like little things.
Yeah, it's just like that. Yeah, it's just readjusting to all of it.
Yeah.
Things obviously just feeling closer, but there's like a
not having my creamer.
Yeah, not having coffee creamer. Yeah. It's just a lot of readjustment.
Yeah.
But we've worked really hard not to fall into the trap of which one's better.
Exactly.
Because you very quickly start to feel a sense of what's the word I want to use? Not animosity, but that kind of feeling of bitterness. You start to feel bitter about one or the other because you've built up this idea or romanticized this idea that one place is going to be better than the other place.
Or is going to satisfy every single, need that you have or whatever.
But it's not looking for better, it's looking for different. Yeah. And if you're good with looking for something being different and being an adjustment and being an alternative to what you've had, I think people can be very, very happy.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We love America. We love, the UK, and it's just what felt right in this time of life. So, yeah.
No, fair play. I am conscious I did say we'll have a quick 20-minute chat, and we could talk about life all day because it's like a full life move. So, I suppose...
Is there anything that people are going to want to know more about that maybe we might have insight on?
No, I mean, it's just the whole journey. I mean, I think for you, not the luxury, but having the nice thing of being able having somewhere to move.
Yeah.
That's often a case of, we'll speak to people relocating of, they'll say, hey, we want to live somewhere south of London, north of Scotland, and you're like, well, I know we're not as big as the US, but we need to know a bit more. And also like kind of cost of living, people want to know, because it's, hey, we're retiring and we've saved this, so we're not sure whether to buy or to rent. So it's case by case scenario for
really is. And not living in a city. I would say people moving from America probably feel a lot more like, oh, we're happy to be 30 miles outside of a city, because we'll travel. It's getting them used to, well, 30 miles here is not like 30 miles in the US. It's more, it takes a lot longer to drive it. You do have obviously access with public transport, but it is definitely different. But that said, if people are happy to be a little bit further outside of a city, they'll save a lot. And they might find something quieter with a bit more space and maybe more garden. And so, and that's the kind of approach we'll take to when we're buying. But I would say for sure, mostly outside of a city, cost of living when buying a house, even renting a house, is going to be so much less than the US.
And I would also just say overall, like, one of the reasons too that we started like sharing our journey was just in hopes to be able to help people. I think a lot of people we're realizing feel like, you know, whether it's just impossible because it's just so much like to do, to think about, too overwhelming. And then for a lot of people, it's like kind of the similar like emotional side of things where it's just like, I don't know if we could ever do that. So I would say too, as long as you and like, you know, your spouse or your partner are like, you're on the same page, like you can do it, because if you're doing it together and you're on the same page and you've got like the same goal, even though you know there's going to be lots of ups and downs and a roller coaster of emotions, and you know not everything's going to go smoothly, it is possible. And and
as easy and flippant as this that I'm about to say sounds, aside from death, nothing is all that permanent. So things can be reversed. I know it's not easy, and you might be putting all your eggs in one basket and selling a house and moving, but it is reversible. If you do it one way, you can do it the other way. Death's not reversible, but just about everything else is. And so, as difficult as that could be to then undo it all, I would say you
can't.
No, and we've watched all of those videos of people walking around the streets and saying, you know, asking the older generations, what's one thing you regret? And a lot of them say either not being with family or not taking more risks or not doing the one thing that I've always dreamt of doing. And so we don't really want to get to the end and have regrets or wish we'd done something. So
because we have a lot of people too commenting, you're going to regret this, you know, you're going to wish you, you know,
I'll give you 2 weeks until you want to move on.
But then some of the way we've responded is like, you know what, in a couple of years, we might decide that we want to move back or whatever, but it's not like permanent where it's like that's it now. So
I find that's often reflective of them, that maybe they've not had the courage to do it, and you're like, well, we're giving it a go, and if it doesn't work out, it's not permanent. We can always but I think what you guys are doing is invaluable, because I think, like you say, it's the overwhelm of the decisions, and once you've got that first step, it kind of rolls into an eventual move of going, hey, we made it. Then you probably breathe for a week or two and go, right, what do we do next? Because I imagine
what's next.
Now you've arrived, I suppose the big question is like, what's next on the plan for you guys? Well, for the family.
We're gonna go on a holiday to Whitby for a week, and we're gonna enjoy the summer holidays with my dad, and he's off from his job because he works in a school system. So we're gonna have a nice long summer, and then it's hit the running in September.
Which is probably when things will feel, because we've talked a little bit like it.
When will it feel real?
It feels like we're just visiting still, because we've done this before. We've brought lots of suitcases with all of our stuff because we've come for like 4 or 5 weeks. But we think that in September, when everyone's kind of back to their routine, it's probably going to sink in a little bit more, and like the weather changes and all of that stuff. Exactly. So it'll be interesting.
Good. Well, at least you've got time to reflect with fish and chips, no doubt, down at Whitby. So.
Definitely. No question.
Obviously, I'd just like to thank you guys, because I know giving up your time, especially with 4 children, 2 dogs, and grandparents to keep happy.
Well,
our pleasure. Thank you for inviting us.
We've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for having us.
I'm ever in Bradford, I'll make sure I'll let you know we're popping by, and
give us a ring.
Do. Coffee with creamer, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. You can try it.
Yeah, sounds good to me. So, but yeah, like I said, we've got friends just next door in Burley and Wharfdale. So we'll often go out on the bikes into Gargrave and stuff like that. So
I grew
it's
up
a
all in
lovely
that.
part of the world.
Yeah.
So good. Is there any questions from you guys, or I suppose there's I think the value has been amazing, to be fair.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean, maybe once we start looking for houses and what we're doing, maybe I'll give you a ring.
Yeah.
But,
no worries.
I think, we're happy to be here and we're excited about whatever the next chapter is. So thank you for having us.
Thank you
No
so
worries.
much.
Thanks for listening to the Moving to the UK podcast with Andrew and Mark. If you found this episode helpful, make sure to follow the podcast so you don't miss the next one.
And don't forget to join our Facebook group, Relocation to the UK, where you can ask questions, share your experience, and connect with others on the same journey. We'll see you in the next episode. Till next time.